We are fucked as a generation of women. Let me tell you what. Oh my God. So I am on the freeway, right? My freaking tire, my tire light comes on. I pull over at the gas station. My tire wall is busted out, right? I'm at a gas station. There's multiple men in work trucks, and I literally was like, can someone please help me change my tire? Like, I will pay you. All of them said no. All of them said no. This one man was like, do you need a jump off? I can do that. But you can't change a tire? I'm the most independent person, and this is probably the one thing that I've never had to do, because I grew up in a family of men. Of men. So, here's my life right now. I'm stressed. My boyfriend's on his way, but I was trying to get somebody who could do it quick because we live in LA and traffic is a fucking bitch. And I was crying. Like, I'm just a girl. What the hell? Literally, and all the men just kind of looked at me. One man was literally, his truck business said mechanic on it. And he was like, no, I can't. What do you mean? What do you mean?
It means that you're not entitled to man's service, whether or not you're willing to pay or not. You're just not entitled to it. Just because you're a girl and then the most independent person out there, it's just the entitlement factor is the problem. Men are just not listening to that, and as a whole, I think we often get confused or we don't realize the impact of what we put out on social media and how it affects people's sort of psyche, how it affects how they interact with the opposite gender out there. When we have had 2 decades of saying, men ain't shit, they're not good for anything, we want to be left alone, you're going to get the resultant pendulum swinging the other way where men just say, you got it. And it may have, and, it has nothing to do with, it usually has nothing to do with that particular individual and that particular man, but he's maybe flashing back to all the times when he did hear that about himself, or he was told these things about him, or when he's heard it in general and it really hit home. So men are saying, okay, we're just erring a side of caution, and you can do everything that you said you wanted to do by yourself. This is not to say that this is the point of view with that all women share, but we all share sort of that fault in what we allow on social media, what we don't push back on social media. For the good or the bad, for better or worse, we're all a little bit at fault here of what we're sitting here consuming. So listen, we'll play this one again, but like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss no uploads. Still trying to do 2 a day. Shout out to quality control for catching any lapses that I have going forward. Really appreciate you.
We are fucked as a generation of women. Let me tell you what. Oh my God. So I am on the freeway, right? My freaking tire, my tire light comes on. I pull over at the gas station. My tire wall is busted out, right? I'm at a gas station. There's multiple men in work trucks, and I literally was like, can someone please help me change my tire? Like, I will pay you. All of them said no.
Yeah, and that just has to be accepted. They don't have to go out their way to do any type of service for you. The one that has some obligation to you, like she said, is a boyfriend that's on the way, to help her change it. You can find an actual station, but if you're not there, you're just on the side of the road, you're at a way station, that they don't have any obligation to do anything for you. That's it. And when you sometimes resent with this energy as if they should do it just because of your gender, that's usually a very, very big turnoff, a huge turnoff. When you say you're the most independent person, but then you're just a girl, it's like selective feminism, where this is one of the things that men become completely fed up with. When you want things your way, when you want things to benefit you, then you turn it on. When then it doesn't, then it's the patriarchy. Then you can get riled up and fight against us. Now we're not saying that there are certain cases or certain times when these things aren't applicable, but daily inconveniences of tire changes, or you want a man to help you take your groceries up to your place, or something large, like a sofa, whatever you want, that's when you want men's help. But in the very next breath, you could say, I'm very uncomfortable giving out my address for men that I may be going on a first date with. It's men hear it all, right? If we can be fair and give credit to men, we hear it all, and it affects us. Even when we say it doesn't, even when we say we just sort of leave it alone, these sort of points sit with you, especially during the larger Me Too movement when men were sort of just on trial. It didn't matter if you didn't engage in any of these behaviors. Apparently, just having the right set of chromosomes was enough. So, like we said before, the good men bowed out and said, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to leave you be like you're saying. The bad actors never really cared. So they didn't never went anywhere. So all you did is create all you did was create this bigger divide between women and the men that they're actually looking for. I'm not saying that this was the purpose of Me Too, but I'm talking about the sort of fallout around it, the subsequent accusations, the subsequent demonization of men that went on for months to years. When we let that continue to go, all that did is continue to push men further and further away. To now, we're at the point where something that we would have looked at to be chivalrous 30, 40 years ago is like an absolute misnomer. You know, we've had videos on this channel where we've had men talking about, you know, there's very little utility in putting myself in harm's way for another woman when I have a family that relies on me to keep them safe, be it financially, physically, spiritually, emotionally. It's not, the juice isn't worth the squeeze going out of the way to help someone else, especially now with, you know, social media. How quickly you can be vilified, you can be accused of doing what you thought was just the right thing at the time. You have to kind of do what your life can support. And if men are making that calculation, they're saying, I'm not going to get anything anywhere near this. Because all it takes is a simple accusation, and you have to fight that. That's an uphill battle that we all know our chances of winning and remaining intact like we are never really, possible. I understand when we pull back from interactions with women in this sort of sense. But I think our pendulum, or we have also overcorrected in the same sense of we're just all collectively saying, good luck, you chose the beer. At some point, we're going to have to all swing back and stay somewhere close to the center as possible. Because I still believe that most of us want to be in healthy, successful relationships, but we have trouble dealing with the effects of our words, right? Where situationally, sometimes they may be correct, but they're painted with such a large brush that it hurts a lot of people get caught up in that and simply don't see a reason to continue dating, continue interacting with the opposite sex. So look, if you think I missed something, you got something to add, let me know it down in the comments. If you see videos on your screen, take a look at those. Let me know what you think about those as well. And of course, if you listen to some of my voice now and you've even contributed to the conversation, you should probably throw it a follow. I'd appreciate it. See you in the next one.